is my honor to introduce you to Honorable Governor Inslee.
Well, good morning. This is a really delightful meeting. I get to join you out. Lindsay, thank you for your introduction. I'm very appreciative. I'm very excited about your future career, whatever that may be. I know that it will make all of Cougar Nation proud. I'm married to a Cougar, as you know. All the Cougars will be proud of your future success. All the Huskies will be pleasantly surprised by some expectations. So you'll be uniting the state. Good luck. I hope we can continue to work together. This is a real delight to be at the first Student Achievement Council meeting. And I can't think of a more important group or a more promising group. And I'm excited to join you here today. And the reason is everyone here in this room shares a fundamental belief, and that is every child deserves the best quality education humanly possible. And it's nice to be united in a particular mission statement. And I think we've got the right group to make sure that we do just that. I'm proud of our state. I'm proud of a state that enshrines education as the paramount duty of the state of Washington. And not every state has that enshrined in their constitution. And it is something that unites us east and west and urban and rural. So it's great to be associated with people who have that in their bones and in their heart. I'm excited to say I'm a product of the public schools of the state of Washington. I have the public schools of the state of Washington very deeply ingrained in my family. My dad was a great teacher and coach at Garfield and South High School. And I have to tell you, one of the most pleasant things I get to enjoy is that as I go across the state of Washington, I meet these 68, 70-year-old people who come up and say, "Are you Frank Inslee's son?" He was my biology teacher at South High School, and I became a doctor because of him. Or he straightened me out. And these are amazing stories I hear. And when I hear these stories, I realize the opportunities we have to make a difference in kids today by giving them the experience of having a great teacher. So I'm excited to work with you to make sure that that is the case. Now, I don't want to leave out my brother, who's an art teacher at Squalicum, or my brother and sister-in-law, who are retired teachers from East Wenatchee as well. And now what I see is that we are seeing great educational experiences in places across our state. I was at Cleveland High School the other day to look at the STEM program at Cleveland High School in Seattle. And I was blown away going in and seeing in a biology class, I'm embarrassed I can't remember the name of the teacher, but they are teaching evolution not as a hypothetical thing, but as a reality that the students were watching genetic changes in bacteria, watching evolution in real time, watching the genetic changes in bacteria. And they were doing work as juniors and seniors at Cleveland High School in genetics that was being done in postdoctoral levels when I was at the University of Washington, in science that had never even been discovered yet when my dad was learning to be a biology teacher. And to see that going on at Cleveland High School is incredibly exciting. And by the way, some of those programs are going to go away unless we put some of the first down payment to the McCleary money, and I'm dedicated to doing that. And when I'm working through the negotiations right now with some of my fellow leaders in Olympia, I'm thinking of Cleveland High School and that genetics class to make sure that that gets preserved. This is very personal with me. I was excited during my campaign for governor to have gone to see the Pasco Bulldogs. Largely, kids, Latino kids, mostly in Pasco High School, and because of the leadership of that high school, we've seen about a 20% increase in the graduation rate in the last 3.5 years at Pasco High School. We know we can do outstanding things if we put our minds to it. I was excited to go to Talbot Hill Elementary and go to the Micro Society to see 4th, 5th, 6th graders adopting as good or better leadership attributes as at least the U.S. Congress, and learning skills of democracy and leadership. The night before last, at the governor's residence, my wife has started sort of a community garden on the lawn of the governor's residence. And we had students in the GRUB program from the Olympia Public Schools. These are kids who are really excited to be in school because they're learning agriculture at the Olympia Public Schools. And these are students that have got a new burst of enthusiasm about school by getting their hands in the dirt and actually learning how to grow food. I mention this because those four little stories are vignettes about the innovation that's going on in our public school system today. And now it is our task to bring that sense of innovation and entrepreneurship and positive change throughout the state of Washington. And I think that's how I would define our task, to take these pockets of excellence and innovation and spread them throughout the state of Washington and assure that leadership and administration and teachers and those who provide for the physical plant and the nutrition and transportation of our students all have an opportunity to use their creative talents to bring that innovation throughout our school system. And I think that's a fundamental thing that we are going to be about. And that, of course, is incredibly important because of the concentration of science, technology, and engineering, math jobs that we have available in the state of Washington. The good news, and I know people have heard this before, but it needs to be said at every educational meeting, is that we're going to see a 24% increase in STEM jobs by 2018 in the state of Washington. And we are number probably 4, at least in per capita, in STEM jobs in the United States. We'll remain 46 in the production of higher degree STEM degree in the United States, 46. So this is a fundamental gap that we need to close, and I'm going to look forward to our council helping us close that gap with diligence and alacrity. So I want to set out what I believe are the 2 fundamental goals of the Student Achievement Council that I hope everyone in this room will be engaged in. First, we need to align our educational system to take advantage of the new economy. Because with the new economy comes new opportunities, but we have to align those opportunities with the production of students with the skills to take advantage of those new opportunities. So the first goal I see as the Student Achievement Council as an alignment of our system of education with the new economy that our students, young and old, can take advantage of. Alignment. And second is a shifting of a mission statement of our educational system from a K through 12 system, which had rural agricultural roots, to a truly high quality lifetime system where throughout our lives Washingtonians can plug into an educational system to be able to be adept and flexible and fluid to take advantage of the changing economy that will now be changing every 3 or 4 years in fundamental ways. So I think this council has 2 words I'd like to focus on. One is alignment, and the second is lifetime education. And I think those are challenging things to do, but they are both possible, and we're seeing it happen in pockets across the state of Washington. Now, we also have a great opportunity to rethink how we work with the business community to build powerful and effective partnerships that will help students access training and education for successful careers. And I think this is very important because I think giving our students a vision statement and a realization of what they can achieve if they really get involved in education is really fundamental to our task. And where I've seen this happen, we have achieved tremendous results. I was at Rainier Beach for signing a bill last week that will allow students to get credit for math class by taking a computer science class. And at Rainier Beach, they had a program of bringing in folks to provide some mentorship capability in computer science for students. And a young woman, first name is Ephraim, I can't remember her last name, she got up and said, you know, they have these some business people come into our class, and I heard about this computer science. She's a ninth grader, she's a freshman at Rainier Beach. And she said, well, maybe I'll try that, just kind of like, you know, like you go out on a date on a Saturday night. I'll just try it one time and see if it works out. But now, because of what I've seen with some of these mentors and about computer science, I didn't just have a first date, I'm in a committed relationship with computer science. And I thought, what a great way to describe her vision statement of her future. She's in a committed relationship with computer science. And it happened because we had some business people who were willing to help people, young people, see a vision. I saw the same thing at Lincoln Center in Tacoma, where we had Concur and some other companies had come in to provide an experience for students. And once these students could see their future associated with an experience in school, really great things can happen. So we know that engaging the business community is very important in this alignment process. Now, I want to thank everybody involved in this process. And I want to note the contributions of Lindsay, Marty Brown, Raymond Lawton, Paul Francis, Scott Brighten, and I want to look forward to working with the whole council and this great group. But we've been joined this month by our 4 new members. And I think the 4 new members of the council represent the tip of the spear of larger communities that we hope to engage in this revolutionary process. First, Jeff Charbonneau. And I just can't think of someone who ought to give us more a sense of optimism than Jeff. I want to note that the 2012 National Teacher of the Year is not from Florida and not from Texas, but from Zillah, Washington. And I think we just ought to give him a round of applause. Jeff's a board-certified STEM teacher. He created a robotics competition program. He got a certification so that his students can receive community college degree credits while they're at Zillah High School. And if anyone doubts the presence of brilliant teaching in our public schools, just go ahead and take a look at what Jeff is doing at Zillah High School and the success he's had. But I want to speak from Jeff in saying he is a representative of thousands of great teachers and educators in the public schools of the state of Washington. And I'm glad we have a representative, not the only one, but a representative of thousands of teachers who are doing very innovative things. And I want to thank him for stepping up to the plate. Ahmad Dadan is president and CEO of the Seattle Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce and brings a really critical business perspective to this work. She serves on many boards, from the Bullitt Foundation to the Biomedical Research Institution. But I can't think of anyone, when I looked around, who would be able to hopefully both help the educational community to understand the business world's perspective, but also to help inspire the business community to become actively engaged in this process than Maud. And I'm so appreciative of you taking on this on your full plate. I'm very excited that you've been willing to do this, and I know you're going to succeed. Karen Lee is CEO of Pioneer Human Services, which provides employment services, job training and counseling, and other services for people overcoming chemical dependency, mental illness, and criminal history. She brings a perspective that's so important from the job creation part of our educational responsibilities, but she's also served as a board of trustee for Western Washington University. And I think that combination is just dynamite to be able to have both a job placement creation view, dealing with people who've had some challenges in life. So Karen has a review of folks who haven't had the straight to Harvard program, right? So she understands giving multiple ways of giving people an educational experience, and she has a tie to the university program. So I want to thank her for taking on this responsibility. Dr. Susanna Reyes is Assistant Superintendent in the Pullman School District and will be the Assistant Superintendent for Special Programs in the Meade School District beginning in July. She brings, I think, a unique perspective in that she's a first-generation college graduate, earned all 3 of her degrees at Washington State University, and has a recognition of students who've come up through, you know, some real challenges, and now she has a tremendous opportunity to understand the college perspective as well as our public school K through 12 perspective. They're going to be working with Dr. Jean Sherritt, who's come on June 1st, and I can't wait to see success. People are very excited from a whole host of communities across the state of Washington, and that gives us a really sound start. And I just think this is a great team. It's got perspectives from multiple places, and you're going to have the governor working with you. And I hope you looked at the governor as a resource as well. It's nice to have a governor working for you. So make sure that I do that. So, you know, we've always been an innovative state. There's challenges in education, but we have a culture here in the state we need to tap into. I mean, a state that's led in innovation in aerospace, it's led in software. There's no reason we can't lead in public education as well. We have that culture of innovation, and we need to call all of ourselves to that fundamental value. There's no reason we shouldn't be striving for 100% graduation rate for all of our students. There's no reason we can't work together to close the opportunity gap that still exists, so the children start school fully prepared to learn, so they graduate fully prepared for the next step. For every student at age 16 to have a vision of their life after high school, so that we can have every student understand the importance of education because they can connect it to their personal vision of doing something a little later in life. So my education philosophy is no excuses, no exception, and excellence for all. I'm committed to that. I'm committed to working with everyone in this room to achieve that, and I want to thank everybody for their personal contribution. Now let's go make Washington a place where the paramount duty is something in fact, not just in constitutional law. Thanks a lot. We'll do great work.
Thank you, Governor Inslee.
Thank you.
Chief of Staff, may I ask? Thank you.
So thank you. It's just a great opportunity to be here and to try to make sure that the message is very clear about our support from the governor's office for the work of this council, both pre-K-12 and higher ed, with the opportunity for our community colleges, our 4 years, and of course the governor already addressed the business involvement in ensuring that that happens. So the commitment of the office is strong and will remain there, and vision is clear, and again this team to do that work is without question the team to make all of this happen. We all have the same goal. I very much appreciate the leadership of the legislature. I'm not sure all of you have been introduced yet in the process, but thank you for your leadership in setting this direction and helping us to move our state forward pre-K-12, post-K-12, higher ed, birth to death. Let's make it happen. So thank you to the council members for your commitment to help this state move this forward. And again, I just appreciate the opportunity and your past work, present work, and absolutely future work. So thank you. Time frame, I'm not sure.
About 5 minutes.
Lindsay, if there are any questions of the council for the governor, we wanted to make sure that was available before we take off.
Yeah, let's see,
Yes.
about 5 minutes, council members. If you
Let me add something too, I just thought of something I should say, is that we want the council to feel free that you're working with our whole team in the executive branch too, not just what you might think of folks in the educational realm. So folks who have an idea about engaging the business community, you ought to feel free to be talking to our Director of Commerce, Brian Bonlander. Folks who have employment opportunities, we want to make sure you're talking to Dale about employment security issues. If there's retraining issues or we want to plug injured workers on, we got to be talking to everybody at L&I. So I just want to let you know the whole executive branch is working with and for this council, and feel free to engage them. I'm happy to stand for questions, ideas, suggestions for a few minutes if anyone
I have a
has.
question.
Yes.
And I guess it's directed more at Mary Alice in some ways, but the connection, I think, with the governor's office is a really important connection for this group, as well as, of course, with the legislature. So my question is, how much contact can we have directly with your staff, Governor, and Mary Alice with you as we proceed down the road here?
So 24/7, you have my personal and professional cell phone. Jean has access to me, so through Jean and obviously any council members. So 100% access and 100% support. This is a critical point in which the awareness and the alignment, again, K-12, Alan Burke is here. The issue with all of the early learning, K-12, higher ed, is the connection, and this is a venue to help that to happen for opportunities for our kids. So it's a platform for the alignment that is long overdue, but the awareness of the need for that is very clear, and the shoulder of the governor is behind it, and I think that will help support the effort to get to the common goals. So you absolutely have me. The governor has directed that.
But again, it's not just Mary Alice or just the governor, it's our cabinet members who you ought to feel free to contact, engage, bring their assets to the table. We want the whole government involved in education, not just the quote educational part of it.
Just a quick question on Results Washington and how that ties into the work that we're doing as well.
So what a great setup, Mr. Sheriff. I will maybe pass this down for the council. So there will soon be a launch of Results Washington with some detailed information coming soon. But this is the framework of the vision, mission, and direction for the next 4 years of this administration. And you will hear lots and lots of details coming forward as the governor works with both the cabinet and our stakeholders in the coming couple of months with setting metrics and specifically identifying what we care about and how we're going to measure and be transparent to our public. So this will take an hour to present in detail, which I'll be happy to do in the future if you so desire. But we hope for engagement at multiple levels of this framework. It's not quite totally ready for public distribution, so I would say this is still draft. The easiest example is, for a long time, the icon was a fish that was actually a koi. And of course, for Washington State, we need a salmon. So I needed help from Phil Anderson to Fish and Wildlife to get me that salmon, and we finally got that replaced. So we're still working a little bit. The language is done, but the document will see yet another revision or two before the formal release. But Results Washington will be the governor's directive on metric-driven, mission-driven purpose for this administration. So, Governor?
So, and as far as the educational metrics, those are in development right now. So we have just kind of a first cut at our metrics of educational attainment for some of the things that are obvious, which are graduation rates, and some of the things that are not obvious. And Mary Alice, I'm so pleased that she's at the helm because she's got some drilled down metrics that are really astute. And I don't know if we have an exact timeline, but I can tell you we have our first cut at those metrics to develop for everyone. So we're making progress on that.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment, and the comment is very positive because it seemed, as those of us that have been here for the 8 months we've been around this table, we were working towards a statute, you know, and not a particular, any amount of communication from the former governor other than we knew she helped form all of this. And having you here today and what you had to say with the alignment of what the statute has to say and what I think the 5 of us that have been here for 8 months, the obstacles that we see, how the alignment is, what we are working towards. We're on the same footpath here. Well, that's very encouraging, and it was important for us to hear this morning. So thank you.
Well, and I appreciate everyone's effort. This council needs a governor. It needs a governor to effectuate the good work you're going to be doing. Because of the nature of your place in the constellation of our multiple, we're very diffuse governmental organization in the state of Washington, right? About as diffuse as it gets. So in order for this council to succeed, it's very obvious to me, you need a governor to be a very active partner and I'm looking for the right metaphor, not coming up with it. You need a great partner. And I intend to be that. And it's going to take some personal commitment and time on my time, but to make this work, you're going to need that, and I intend to put it into it. This is not a self-effectuating council. You need some political heft. So I hope to be successful in giving you that, because this is, this is the paramount duty of the state constitutionally. It's what got me involved into public life in the first instance. I don't know if anybody heard my story, but the only reason I'm here is because there was a school bond issue in Selah, Washington in 1985 or 86, and nobody else was foolish enough to try to pass the dang thing because it had failed 6 times. And my wife and I took it on because we were naive and didn't know better. And we passed it on the 7th try. And that's why I got involved in the legislative work that Larry and David are now doing. And that's why I'm here. So this is just a continuation of what I've been doing for a few decades. So I take this very seriously.
All done?
Thanks.
We're going to go do some metrics.
Okay.